It's been a big week with lots of card news, including the confirmation of the franchise Atlantis, the Lost Empire, coming to Disney Lorcana. Let's dive right in. Hi everyone, this is Disam from Mushi Report, here to go through everything that has happened over the past week in Disney Lorcana. And the biggest thing that happened is, of course, the new story trailer we got for Into the Inklands, featuring Venturo of his new crew, Prince Eric, Tinkerbell, and also Audrey from Atlantis, the Lost Empire, the latest new franchise that just got confirmed. So yeah, we actually got quite a lot of new cards from this trailer. You should definitely go and check out the full trailer, but it shows a lot of interesting stuff where they're out on a quest looking for the missing lore, and they actually found stuff like Triton's missing trident. But hey, they didn't manage to get it because they kind of ignored Tinkerbell. I guess it's because she's so small, the common trope. Then something else, menacingly a claw, it actually headed out to get the trident. Who knows what is that? I have no idea. Maybe it's the new villain for Into England. Could it be Mushu? I have no idea, but this trailer answers so much, yet gives us so much new questions to ask about Into the England. So yeah, it's really exciting. Definitely go and check out the trailer. But then moving on, we're definitely going to be talking about the cards. So the very first one is, of course, the stuff is that in the trailer. I'm going to go through those with the Aurelian gyro sensor, which Venturo was using to actually show and find the treasured lore that he's hunting for. So yeah, it actually has the ability seeking knowledge whenever one of your character quests. You may look at the top card of your deck and then you put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. So this is kind of like the Yasma Alchemist ability, just that this one is kind of tied into your character's quest, and also it's a new item card for Sapphire Ink. So there's more and more item cards that your Sapphire Ink can access to and actually now control what you get to draw in the following turn. So that's actually pretty nice. So that's the Aurelian Gyro Sensor. Then we have the Tinkerbell Very Clever Fairy. So we got this card previously already. That's the cover card for the gift set. But hey, we finally got the full confirmed ability, which confirms that, yeah, you may put that card into your Inkwell face down exerted whenever one of your items is banished. So it works very nicely with your Hiram Bleversham on turn 4, then on turn 5 you play your Tinkerbell, just get rid of one of your item cards and then just add it into your Inkwell instead to just ram really fast. Is that a really good card? It depends. I think that there's definitely a play for this, so let's wait and see. Next, you have the other crew member that shot in the video with Prince Eric, Expert Helmsman. So he has the really nice ability Surprise Maneuver. Whenever this character is banished, you can banish another chosen character instead. So this works nicely because it's a 4-cost character and you actually get to control who you are banishing, unlike Cheshire Cat, which is that one just allows you to banish whoever banishes Cheshire Cat. So Prince Eric actually has some strength to it and get to control who you are going to banish, and he has 2 lore. It's pretty nice. Just that he's uninkable, so take note of that. But the nicest combo, of course, to make use of with Prince Eric, it's got to be Teeth and Ambitions, because Teeth and Ambitions give 2 damage to one of your characters to give another 2 damage to another character. So if you actually time it nicely, your Teeth and Ambitions will be able to take out one of your opponent's character, while your Prince Eric is going to be poised to just take out another opponent's character. So I think this card will definitely enter Ruby decks once we go into the Inklands, just that it takes that bit of skill level to play. You don't want to just consistently quest with it and then leave it open for challenges, so your opponent will get the time when Prince Eric's ability will go through. You don't want that. The best timing is, of course, controlled by you as the Ruby player to just use Teeth Ambitions or just use it to crash into other characters and then just take out another character at the same time using Prince Eric's ability. So this is one card to definitely take note of. You definitely want to get this one for your Ruby decks. Next, you have the Sumerian Talisman. This is a card from DuckTales, which is also a nice addition for the Ruby decks to actually get some card draw. Because whenever one of your characters is banished in a challenge during your turn, then you may draw a card. So this one is pretty interesting. I'm not too sure how much play you will see, simply because it's locked to during your turn only. When it's during the opponent's turn and your characters are just left exerted, if they challenge and banish those characters in the challenge, then yeah, you won't get a card draw or Sumerian Talisman. So is it that great to play? I'm not sure. Personally, I still think a card like, say, Wait Set or some of your more standard draw cards, like of course your Merlin Rabbit, the stuff that the Amethyst Ruby decks have been using for now, is a much better way to just consistently get card draw. So yeah, maybe they don't really need this one for now. Next up, the Lucky Dime. This is the very first legendary item card that we're getting for Disney Lorcana. And hey, it rightfully deserves that because it costs you 7 ink to play. So it's really expensive, and furthermore, after you play this card, you're going to need to use another 2 ink to be actually able to choose one of your characters, then gain lore equal to the current amount of lore they have. So this is a nice ability to actually get you gain lore really fast. Of course, if you combine it with, say, like Belle Strange but Special when her ability is in place, then you're going to be able to gain 5 lore, because Bell's Strange But Special gains 4 lore when you have 10 or more cards in your Inkwell. So this is the best combo so far, because Lucky Dime, if you're going to play it, you're going to want lots of cards in your Inkwell, which Bell's Strange But Special helps with that. And then Bell's Strange But Special gets 5 lore, and then yeah, if you're going to play Lucky Dime and you can straight away have 2 ink to pay for it, you can get another 5 lore right away. So this is a really powerful card in the right hands, in the right timing. So yeah, this is definitely something that you want to consider playing. So that's one idea to consider, and one of the best ways to combo for this Lucky Dime is going to be the new crewmate for Venturo with Audrey Ramirez, the engineer. So this is a 5-cost character with 2 5 stats and 2 lore, and whenever she quests, you can ready one of your items, and she has War 2. So that's really powerful if you combine it with Lucky Dime. So you can think about it. If you say you have Bell's Strange But Special, you get 5 lore out of that. Your Lucky Dime going to get you another 5 lore, copying Strange But Special. Then after that, Audrey is going to ready your Lucky Dime, and you can use Lucky Dime again on Bell's Strange But Special for another 5 lore, that's 15 lore, while Audrey is going to give you another 2 lore, and that means in one turn, with this little combo play of these 3 cards, you can actually gain 17 lore. So that's a lot of lore to gain, and of course you gain a couple more lore in the earlier turns, that 3 lore, then yeah, that's going to be giving you right all the way to past 20 lore to win the game. So that's the cool combo for these few new cards. How strong are they? I think that they can actually see some play, definitely, because there's a lot of ways for the deck to ram right now for the Sapphire Ink. So yeah, this could be really pretty useful. So that's the idea for Audrey, and the first card for Atlantis. So moving on, let's look at the other Atlantis cards. Some of these come from Screen Ram with a new article where they actually gave us Kida Atlantean. She's a new 1-cost character, 2 stats with 1 lore, the very basic vanilla character. And yeah, she actually has in Atlantean language flavor text which states "Welcome to the Inklands." So yeah, this is a really nice touch. I feel that they actually added in the Atlantean language. Hopefully we see more of Kida. I'm kind of wondering if that as a 1-cost character with 2 stats, is she gonna be like the queen, where she's gonna have a nice shift Floodborn to actually make use of her 1-cost to just shift quickly into stuff? I don't know, but I somehow get some Floodborn vibes from her, thinking that she might be getting some nice Floodborn coming up. Moving on, we have Milo, of course. We have 3 versions of Milo in one single article. It was pretty crazy, really. We have the first one is Milo Tech. It's a Ruby character, Spirited Scholar, 2 cost, 2 stats, and he has the ability I'm Your Man. While this character is in a location, he gets +2 strength. So that makes him a 4/2 character, pretty similar to Gaston Arrogant Hunter, just without the Reckless ability. So yeah, that's the idea. Is it that great though? I think that this might be a nice addition. We need to see more Ruby locations to see whether this will actually work out very well in the deck. But yeah, I think that this is definitely a nice consideration if you actually need more strength. Moving on, the other Milo Techs we have are from Emerald Ink, with Milo Tech Clever Cartographer. So this one is also a basic vanilla, 1-cost, 2 stats with 1 lore. So that's the vanilla character version. But Milo Tech actually comes in strong with a Floodborn version with Milo Tech King of Atlantis. So this is a 7-cost character with 4 stats and 3 lore. So this Milo Tech is actually shift 4, meaning you just need 4 ink to shift over the previous Milo Tech to go into this character. And with the nice ability, take them by surprise. When this character is banished, return all opposing characters to their player's hand. So it doesn't affect your side of the board, it only affects the opponent's side of the board. This can be pretty strong, but then the idea is, of course, this is kind of one of those things where it's controlled by the opponent, so it might not be that easy to just kind of pull off. You want to best is get rid of it on your own terms. So stuff like Teeth and Ambitions will of course be nice, or of course if you are playing combination with say Yasma to actually just banish your own Milo Tech that you can just bounce all of them at the same time, then that would be a pretty nice ability to make use of. But aside from that, I'm not too sure how much this Milo Tech will see play. It's a pretty nice ability, but a lot of stuff going back to hand doesn't really affect stuff like, say, for example, Ruby Amethyst for now. I think it's a nice hit against the Ember Steel deck, maybe, but yeah, I think that it's just a pretty alright card for the moment, and we need to see more Atlantis cards more ways to actually make use of these abilities. Maybe when all the stuff go back to hand, you get to trigger some of the ability perhaps. So this is one thing to consider. We also got a couple of the other characters for Atlantis with Lai Tiberius Rogue. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And this is actually looking to be a pretty good card. It's a 3-cost Emerald character with 2 force stats and 1 law. That's actually kind of the similar as Jasper. And it's actually a very right reference simply because they kind of have similar abilities. Jasper's ability is actually preventing a character that you select from questing whenever he quests, while Lai Tiberius Rogue actually has the ability to give one of your opponent's character reckless whenever this character is played. So it's a one-time off only, but instead of stopping them from just questing every single turn, Lai Tiberius Rogue actually gives reckless for that one-time off. So that's actually pretty decent, much better than Iago in my opinion.
You got a problem, Pinky?
He also has another ability. Whenever one of your other characters is banished, each opponent loses 1 law. So Emerald Ink finally has a way to kind of control your opponent's law, and this could be actually pretty strong in the right deck, where you have a deck that challenges actually a lot. Then you can have your characters just crash into your opponent's stuff and just clear off the board, and then Lai Tiberius Rogue is going to be able to just take down your opponent's law at the same time. Furthermore, he got a ruling clarification where Lai Tiberius Rogue actually gets to reduce the opponent's law even if he's banished at the same time. Like for example with Be Prepared. So if Be Prepared is played while Lai Tiberius Rogue is played with say another 2 characters on the board, then Lai Tiberius Rogue will actually still get his ability to kick in after that Be Prepared was played. Your other 2 characters are going to get banished with Lai of course, but you're going to get to minus 2 law from your opponent's character. So this is a nice ruling confirmation that actually makes this card a lot more useful than you might think in against the right deck. Against Be Prepared, if you're anticipating it in the following turn, then yeah, just play Lai Tiberius. It stops your opponent from just using one of their characters to quest, while at the same time you actually reduce your opponent's law drastically. Hopefully with a lot of smaller characters on the board, then yeah, this is actually a really nice trade-off to kind of counter, in a sense, Be Prepared. So yeah, definitely want to consider playing out this card. Then another character we got from Atlantis is Helga Sinclair. So this is a very simple ability. 3-cost character with 2 force stats with the ability Challenger +2. So she becomes a 3-cost 4/4 character. So kind of like Lawrence, just different ways of using it. Lawrence can actually maintain the 4 strength as long as he's not damaged, while Helga just gets to have the 4 strength even if she's damaged, but only when she challenges. Still a pretty nice card. I'm not too sure how many people are going to be using it since Challenger is not really used that much at the moment, but yeah, that's the one card that you want to consider for your Atlantis deck. Then finally, we have Heart of Atlantis, which is a 4-cost item card with the ability Life Giver. You pay 2 lesser ink for the next character you play this turn. So this is basically a ×2 version of Lantern. Lantern is a 2-cost item card which reduces 1 ink for the next character you play. This is a 4-cost card which actually reduces by 2 ink. So yeah, basically exactly double in cost, exactly double in the amount of ink that you get to reduce. The thing is though that I don't think Heart of Atlantis will get used that much because Lantern is a lot better. Why do I say that? For example, one of the best ways that Lantern is being used right now is you play Lantern on turn 2, then you use the ability to reduce the 1 cost to 0, and you play your Stitch New Dog. So that by turn 3, after that, you play another ink in, and by reducing 1 cost with the Lantern, you get to shift that Stitch New Dog into Stitch Rockstar. So that's one of the best plays you have for Lantern right now, which I just don't really see the synergy yet for Heart of Atlantis. And yeah, you want to make use of these abilities quickly to just get your characters out earlier on, which means I think that Lantern is still a much better card than Heart of Atlantis. So yeah, that's the idea I have for this card. And let's move away from the Atlantis cards, moving on into the non-Atlantis cards, starting off with Neverland Mermaid Lagoon, which looks to be one of our new vanilla kind of generic 1-cost location, because there's another version of this 1-cost location that I'll be showing on later on. So Neverland, this is a 1-cost location, cost 1 for moving into it, and has 4 willpower with 1 law. So that's the basic idea, but I think that this location card might actually get to see some play, maybe because you can actually play this location card Neverland on turn 1, and then your opponent might not really have abilities to get rid of this Neverland location, and Neverland can actually survive into possibly turn 3 or turn 4. Which means you'll be able to get at least 2 or 3 law out of this single Neverland. Is it that much better over playing over another character? I'm not too sure. That means that we need to see if there's more location synergy, more ways to, maybe for example, a lantern that lets you get to reduce the cost of your location cards. Then that means that you can play Neverland for free, and then yeah, you can get a lot of lore gaining really fast there. Because all of them have pretty high willpower, they're not going to be easily taken out. Be prepared doesn't affect them, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, location synergy might work out. We still need to see a lot more Into the Inkland cards to decide how good location cards are. Moving on, we have some other Ember cards with 99 puppies. Whenever one of your characters quests this turn, gain 1 lore. By right, the idea is for it to work together with your Dalmatian puppies, because you have just unlimited, well, almost unlimited, 99 copies of your Dalmatian puppies, and whenever any of them quest, you can gain 1 lore. So the idea is you want to have a lot of copies in your hand, you can spam out a lot of them onto the board, and then you can just get all of them to quest for 2 lore instead of 1 with 99 puppies. Sounds enticing, but I think that there's actually more ways to use it. Of course, if you spam that with your Stitch Rockstar, getting out a lot of characters onto the board, say with what I mentioned earlier on, your Stitch Rockstar Lantern combo, that's your turn 4 play. Then by turn 5, you have more characters to actually play out, and you can hopefully go into 99 puppies and just gain a lot of lore in the following turn. So that's the idea for 99 puppies. Is very fantastic for the Ember decks, which you're going to get to spam out a lot of characters. Though Ember still isn't really going the strategy right now anymore. They're going a lot more into your high cost steel characters with your Beast and your Tinkerbell, going to do some board control and take out the game by advantage. So we shall see that whether this 99 puppy strategy works out. I think that this is actually a really good card that can be considered in the right deck. Next, we have the Sorcerer's Tower Wondrous Workspace, which is also the only Amethyst card we got all week. So this is a location card which costs 3 to play, 2 costs to move in, and 7 willpower. So even at 2 costs, you have extra ink, moving any one of your characters there to just get 1 extra lore is actually a pretty decent proposition. But the main idea, of course, is to make use of this card together with your Magic Broom, your Wayward Sorcerer, just play out your brooms much earlier on, and then just gain a lot of lore. And already we got 2 different Magic Brooms to actually help you out in the deck, but I definitely think that Into the Inklands will probably give you a 3rd broom type perhaps to let you really make a broom synergy deck, which really be interesting to see. Right now, the combinations we see are mostly like ink based, and we just see a lot of like using the strongest cards from 2 different inks to just make them work out. Not too much of a team kind of deck in my opinion right now, but yeah, the Sorcerer's Tower with your Magic Brooms might be the first really team deck that we might get to see in Disney Lorcana, and I'm all for it. This is what we are all here for. We want the lore, the background story, and this one will actually help out to create such a deck for Disney Lorcana. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to trying out this one for myself. Next up, we have More Space Goo. So this is a 2-cost character with 2/1 stats and 1 lore. It's not that fantastic except for the ability, which is actually really good. So Mimicry, you may play any character with shift on this character as if this character had any name. So I think that this card already automatically goes into, say, any Emerald Steel discard deck, the one that uses Bucky, because you have a lot of Flood Bonds to play, and Morph is going to help you get access to all those Flood Bonds much easier, especially Beast Tragic Hero. Because right now, Beast Tragic Hero doesn't really have a good beast that he can just shift into. Then yeah, Morph comes along. That means that Morph you play a turn 2, and by turn 3 you can shift into Beast Tragic Hero to possibly just get you 1 extra card draw every single turn. And that's a really nice combo, which is also why Beast Tragic Hero's price has been going up, and I kind of regret not getting it earlier on. But hey, I'm fine with that, and I think that there'll probably be even more Flood Bonds coming out with Into the Inklands that might make even better use of Morph, which means hopefully Beast Tragic Hero price comes down a bit and I can finally get some. Let's see, or if not, I'll just finally bite the bullet and just get a couple of copies of myself. That's Morph, and this is definitely a good card. Just make sure you get your 4 copies of it right away, and I think that Emerald is definitely going to become a really good Flood Bomb based deck to definitely look out for. Next, we have Cruella de Vil, or rather the Vil Manor, Cruella's Estate. So this is the other generic 1-cost location I talked about, the exact same stats as Neverland. So yeah, not too much to add on for here for the Vil Manor. But we have other cards to talk about, which is so yeah, that's basically Gaston just with the stats shifted around, which actually really reminds me that Madam Mim Snake is really just that fantastic. Madam Mim Snake can be ink, while this one can be ink, and yeah, for similar stats, and yet Madam Mim Snake gets to bounce one of your characters to hand. Some may say that that's a detriment, but in the right deck, like for example Amethyst Ruby, where Madam Mims of course are being played the most, you get to make use of stuff like Ursula, your Elsa, and get to use them again when they get bounced back to hand. So that's actually a really good thing for Madam Mim Snake. So yeah, Della Dark, Unstoppable Mom, the mom of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, not a bad card, but I don't see this one getting played as much as compared to your Madam Mim Snake. They're already taken out Gaston already, so I don't really expect Della Duck to see play as much. Moving on, we have Jim Hawkins Thrill Seeker. This is a 2-cost character with 3/2 stats. So basically 1 lesser willpower than Della Duck, but hey, at least he doesn't have Reckless and he's inkable. So that's a really nice card. I do expect a Jim Hawkins Floodborn to appear in Into the Inklands, so that's one thing to look out for. But for now, let's just put this aside. He's basically Donald Duck Boisterous Fowl with the stats just switched around. And that's the idea. Moving on, we have Agrabah Marketplace. So 3-cost location card with 1 move cost and 5 willpower with 2 lore. So I think this might be your generic 3-cost location card, and I expect to see more versions of this showing up because yeah, that's kind of the way it is for vanilla cards because that's the way it is for vanilla cards for Disney Lorcana quite often, and yeah, I do expect to see more of this. Next up, Friend Like Me. So this is one card that thanks to Whippet, I actually got to get this card a bit earlier on to write out a full article on what I think of it on Mush Report. Do go check it out. So this is a song card that costs 5. That means you can sing with 5-cost character for free. And he has the ability, each player puts the top 3 cards of their deck into the inkwell, face down, and exerted. So the idea is going to be playing a 5-cost character on turn 5. On turn 6, you use that character to sing Friend Like Me to get all the way to 9 ink. And then just place another one of your once per turn ink. Then that will give you 10 ink cards in your inkwell, and that unlocks access to, of course, Bell Strange Part Special. So that's a nice way to gain access to it, but the main problem with this card, I feel, is that both players get to add 3 cards into their inkwell, which means it's a big problem against the wrong deck. If you're against the right deck, or if your opponent is already low on resources, then yeah, you're going to be able to just get another extra 3 ink into inkwell right away and get to play your high cost characters right away, while your opponent might not really have a deck built for that and they can't play out as high cost characters. Then yeah, that's one thing to consider. So I'm not too sure this is actually really the best card. I think that there could be some combo plays, but I don't expect to see too much in the tournament decks. So that's Friend Like Me. Next up, we have Motunui Island Paradise, which is a 2-cost location card with 1 cost to move there and 5 willpower. With the nice ability Reincarnation, whenever a character is banished while here, you may put that card into your inkwell, face down, and exerted, which means that technically you could gain an infinite amount of ink because you could just easily move all your characters there since they only cost 1. And then your opponent, unless you're going to waste their efforts to try and take out Motunui first, that means chances are they'll be going against your characters first, and then your characters will just keep on gaining you a lot of cards into your inkwell. You can ram really fast, and that could be a really good thing. Motunui Island Paradise is one card that I expect to actually get to see some play in Sapphire decks to help you ram a lot faster compared to Friend Like Me. Yeah, this card is actually a much better card in my opinion. Just hopefully that there's some nice location synergy for Sapphire Ink to actually make this card even more worthwhile. And then we are going on into finally Steel Ink with And Then Along Came Zeus. We are not saying the song, we are saying the card's name. You're doing it wrong. So And Then Along Came Zeus is a 4-cost song card which deals 5 damage to a chosen character or location. The exact 5 damage you need to take out Motunui, or many other 5 willpower characters like Tinkerbell and your Beast Tragic Hero, tons of them that can all be taken out very nicely with this one single song card. And Then Along Came Zeus is a much needed card for Steel Ink. They don't really have a way to just banish an opponent's character outright, so 5 willpower though is pretty much most of what your characters that you will see for anything say cost 6 and below. Your Hercules, your Beast Tragic Hero, your Tinkerbell, which incidentally are all steel cards, can all be taken out by And Then Along Came Zeus. And many other characters that all have 5 willpower or lesser are perfectly poised for this card to take out. The only issue is, of course, it's not as useful in the late game, but still, steel cards, steel ink, could do well with this extra damage dealing. So yeah, this is still a good card for steel. I do expect to see some of this in play. And last but not least, the last card to actually feature today is Simba Rightful King. He's a 5-cost character with 4/6 stats, with the ability whenever he banishes another character in a challenge, your chosen opposing character can't challenge during the next turn. Yeah, it's not that great a card. Really kind of reminds me of Gantu, which actually states that all your opposing characters that are cost 2 or less, they can't challenge. Then yeah, this is a Simba Rightful King. We're going to be stopping your opponent from challenging. But you don't really half the time need your opponents to challenge, because especially this is a steel deck. You do want your opponent to challenge and kind of trade off with you, and then you can use stuff like your grab your swords to just get rid of all them at one go. You do want some trading to take place. So forcing your opponent to not be able to challenge seems kind of off. Is the opposite of Reckless, which yeah, Reckless is actually a good way to stop your opponent from winning the game. You do want them to stop questing and possibly do more challenge. So Simba Rightful King feels like kind of the opposite ability that I would want. If it stops your opponent from questing, then there's a nice ability for Steel Ink to finally gain access to. But aside from that, I don't really expect to see this card in play too often. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. And that's about it. That's everything I have for you from this week's card reviews. I hope you all enjoyed it. There's a lot to go through, and I expect that the card reviews are going to be ramping up in the next couple of weeks. We have kind of like 3 weeks left to the release for Into the Inklands, and we only got 1/4 of the set done. So there's another 153 cards to go with just 3 weeks left, and yeah, there's a lot of cards to cover. But we'll make do. We'll definitely get there at the end with Into the Inklands. So yeah. See y'all in the next video. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and peace out. This is D Summon signing out.